It was just another quiet night at the hospital. The kind of night where the halls are dim, nurses move softly, and machines beep in slow, steady rhythms. Most patients were asleep. Some drifting, some dreaming, some not expected to ever wake again. But then, something happened. The front doors, locked for the night, suddenly burst open. A huge German shepherd, muddy, wild, and determined, stormed through the lobby like he knew exactly where he was going. Security tried to react. Nurses froze. But the dog didn't stop. He didn't bark. He didn't bite. He just walked with eerie purpose. Straight down the corridor. Toward a room no one expected him to know. Room 209. Where a little girl named Emily had been in a coma for 8 long months. And that's when everything changed. At first, everyone thought it was a stray. Maybe a lost dog, confused, scared, hungry. But there was something different about this one. He wasn't afraid. He didn't look around. He walked straight, head low, eyes focused, like he knew exactly where he was going. A nurse stepped in front of him, gently trying to stop him. But the dog didn't growl. He didn't slow down. He simply moved around her, as if nothing else in the world mattered but the path he was on. A security guard radioed for backup. Another grabbed a leash, unsure of what they were even dealing with. But no one could bring themselves to touch him. There was something in his eyes, something calm, and somehow human. Cameras caught him making every turn without hesitation. Past the ER. Up the stairs. Through the pediatric wing. Until finally, he stopped outside room 209. The room of a little girl who hadn't opened her eyes in 8 months. And without a sound, he nosed the door open. And walked inside. Inside room 209 was Emily. Just 10 years old. Tiny, pale, unmoving, hooked up to machines that had been keeping her alive since the accident. A car crash had taken her parents' peace, shattered their world, and left Emily in a coma. For 8 long months, there had been no change. No response. No improvement. No hope. Her parents came every single day. Her mom read books aloud. Her dad held her hand and talked to her like she could still hear him. Doctors did everything they could. But slowly, quietly, people began to prepare for the worst. Except one soul hadn't given up. Not really. His name was Ranger. Emily's dog. A giant, loving German shepherd who had been with her since she was 3. They were best friends. Partners in crime. Wherever Emily went, Ranger followed. On the night of the accident, Ranger was in the car too. But when first responders arrived, he was nowhere to be found. For months, the family searched. Put up signs. Called shelters. Nothing. Ranger had simply vanished. Some believed he ran away. Others thought he hadn't survived. But that night, when he walked into that hospital, silent and sure, it was clear. Ranger never left her. He had just been waiting for the right moment to come back. Ranger wasn't just a pet. He was family. To Emily, he was her shadow, her protector, her secret keeper. They'd grown up side by side. He was there for every scraped knee, every tear, every birthday candle. When Emily was scared of thunderstorms, it was Ranger who curled up beside her bed. When she was sick, he wouldn't eat unless she did. They had a connection that didn't need words. Just one look from her, and he understood. That's what made his disappearance so heartbreaking. The night of the accident, amid flashing lights, sirens, and chaos, Ranger had vanished. It didn't make sense. Search teams looked everywhere. Shelters were called daily. Flyers were taped to poles across town. But weeks turned into months. And the hope of finding him slowly faded, just like Emily's pulse on the monitors. But now, He was back. And not by chance. Ranger hadn't wandered in. He hadn't gotten lost and stumbled upon her. He came back with purpose. With timing. Like something, or someone, had called him. Not just to be seen, but to save her. The next few minutes felt like a dream. Nurses called her name. Emily's eyes opened, just barely. She blinked slowly, adjusting to the light, to the room. And then, she whispered one word. Ranger. Her mom dropped to the floor in tears. Her dad couldn't speak, just held her hand and sobbed like a child. Doctors stared in disbelief. This doesn't happen, one of them said under his breath. Not like this. Not without explanation. But there was no science that could explain what they were witnessing. Just a little girl, once lost in silence. And a dog who came back to find her. And the moment they touched again, something deep inside her woke up. It wasn't just recovery. It felt like recognition. Like a part of her soul that had been asleep, finally remembered how to come back home. With Ranger. In the days that followed, everyone had the same question. How did he know? How did a dog, gone for nearly a year, find a locked hospital, in the middle of the night? And walk straight to a room he had never been to? Security footage showed no hesitation. He never sniffed around. Never looked confused. He entered like he'd done it before. Like someone had drawn him there. No collar. No leash. No owner following behind. Just Ranger. Alone. Calm. Steady. Sure. Some said he must have picked up her scent. Others guessed he had help, maybe someone let him in. But no one ever came forward. And the hospital was locked that night. The doors should have never opened. But they did. For him. And only him. It didn't make sense. But then again. Maybe not everything has to. Maybe it was luck. Maybe it was timing. Or maybe, it was something deeper. Some people believe we all have protectors, guardian angels, spirits, call them what you want. But what if, sometimes, they don't have wings? What if they walk on 4 legs? What if love, real love, doesn't disappear when things fall apart? What if it waits? What if it watches? And when the world turns its back, what if it shows up again, right when we need it most? Ranger didn't just come back. He returned. Not just to visit. Not just to be seen. But to do what no doctor, no machine, no medicine could do. He reminded a little girl how to live again. And maybe, just maybe, that's what real guardians do. Ranger stayed by Emily's side for days. Nurses brought him food. Doctors didn't question it. Everyone just knew he belonged there. And when Emily could speak more, she told them. She'd dreamed of him. In the quiet darkness of her coma, she said she felt him. Not once. Not twice. But constantly, like he never left. Maybe it was just a dream. Or maybe, somehow, their connection reached across whatever space she was trapped in. Not even unconsciousness could silence love like that. Eventually, Ranger went home with the family again. Life slowly returned. And Emily, she healed. But something in her had changed. She was quieter. More thoughtful. As if she had touched something the rest of us can't see. One thing was clear though. Ranger wasn't just a dog. He was a guardian. A guide. A reminder that love doesn't vanish in hard times. It finds a way. And sometimes, it breaks down locked doors, walks through hospitals, and lays down beside you. Just to say, I'm still here. Because love like that doesn't give up. It comes back.